Welcome back. This is part 2 of my conversation with Angela on introspection and the self. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, you can, but you don't have to. This stands on its own. A quick frame before we pick it up. In part 1, Angela and I talked about the self as something you build through practice, through your body, through art, through paying attention to the small things. This part is about what happens when you turn that attention outwards. Because here's the thing about knowing yourself. You can't do it all alone. Well, sometimes. Some of who you are only becomes visible when you're standing in front of the people who refuse to see you, or in front of people who finally do. Your heritage shapes you. Your community shapes you. The version of yourself you're becoming is shaped by the version of yourself you're willing to imagine. In this part, Angela and I get to talk about cultural identity, accountability, integrity, what it means to carry your choices forward, and the version of ourselves we're each building towards. There's a story in here as well I think you'd love to hear about. Covers a dance battle in Mauritius. I know it'll be worth it once you get there. The same reminder as before though, you don't need to be an optimist, an expert, or anything more than yourself to find any of this useful. Just listen, let it land where it lands. Here's part 2.
We were on practices and you're sharing about Tai Chi and how that was connecting to you.
Yeah.
And we were kind of connecting on how important it is for physical to also be a part of kind of our...
Of your makeup of self, essentially.
Exactly. So I do have a question here because in all of these practices and what we do for ourselves in the day-to-day, I'm curious to know what introspection looks like to you. Like, how are you practicing it? Because if I could go on a little bit of a tangent, to understand the self, it takes the act of being introspective.
Yeah.
It takes doing shadow work. It takes time of learning about yourselves, learning about the world that you create for yourself and the world that you live in, all simultaneously. But what do you actively do to be, I guess, to understand yourself, or be in that relationship of understanding yourself?
Right, and like kind of having that constant reflection, right?
Absolutely.
To have from.
No, it's okay.
I think for me, it's I go off of emotions, right? So whenever I feel some kind of bigger emotions, like either really high, like really positive, or really negative, that's where I go off from. So when I reach those for example, moments of intense sadness or moments of intense joy, I'm able to think around, like I just kind of naturally go into the process of thinking, what's making me feel this way? What are the factors going into it? Do I appreciate what I'm going through right now? What do I think will happen going forward? So it's both like looking at what's going to happen in the future, as well as reflecting on the past that led up to this experience, right?
Absolutely.
But then obviously our lives aren't just made out of like absolute highs or absolute lows.
Sure.
There's also this middle thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the middle thing does come to play when you are thinking about how you have intense moments as well as smaller moments, or intense high moments as well as intense lower moments in your experiences.
Sure.
So when those happen, so like when you're just able to like conceptualize these things as like perhaps like a chart in a way, it really just brings me to reflect whenever I can, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes even if I'm just sitting there reading a book, not even reading a book, just like making dinner, right?
Yeah.
And I don't feel intense joy or intense sadness,
Yeah.
I will also be thinking, what is making me feel this type of like
kind of contentment.
The contentment, like this stable contentment, or this solitude.
Yeah.
Right. It because I think growing up too, my mom is like she's like kind of Buddhist, so she was like always reaching for like the middle. She doesn't want to be too happy or too sad. Moderate. She's a very moderate person. She tries to be, right? Yeah. I'm not really like that, but then it kind of because of like that kind of influence from her, I'm able to just be more mindful of what I feel or what leads to those moderate moments.
True.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a really cool way to, verbalize it. Because most of the time, when like you talk about introspection in general, you aren't necessarily thinking about when you're being introspective, but when you really do frame like, okay, well, what are the moments that I am taking time to do it?
Exactly.
It really is, in a way, it's a choice, right? Because when you have those free moments, or when you do have the space to think about something other than theory or applied knowledge, or you know, kind of just work and all the external influences in your life, making that choice and the decision to think about yourself more than the external world, it's
a conscious effort that you have to make, and I think it comes with practice as well. So
it does.
If you can't do it right away, it just keep on forcing yourself, or like setting yourself, I don't know, giving yourself some kind of reminders to think about it, right?
No, exactly, because I think that is what's really, I guess, daunting and tiring for a lot of people, and especially like a world like today. I'm going to make sure not to sound like a hypocrite, because I do find myself into these loops, and it is a notorious amount of effort to get out of. But like, say, like in a culture that is used to doom scrolling, to listening to the external world, there's not much space for us to just be on our own. It's unconscious effort, and it almost feels like a sacrifice.
Exactly, because like you're taking away the time from consuming to actually essentially creating, right? Because the reflection and introspection, you are creating this internal dialogue, you are creating this narrative for yourself.
Absolutely.
And this is, once again, it's so important to create and for yourself, as tying it back to you know, like the educational side of it. Right? You need to create.
You do. And I think maybe this is where in our world, and I guess how everything is laid out, if there's no room to be imaginative and to be creative, and if you are not creating those spaces, say if we're talking about the arts, right? If you do not create spaces and you do not help and fund those areas of those methods to express and to just think beyond what is right in front of you, then you don't have the tools, or you're not encouraging people to do the work, right?
And you're not, essentially, you're not letting them be themselves.
Absolutely.
They have to essentially, so whatever they consume is what they become, instead of actually being who they are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know when it comes to introspection, like one reason I chose the name Forever Pondering is because I typically I'm a very pensive person. And if I'm not super comfortable with people, I will actually be way more quiet than a lot of people recognize me to be. Like in my family, I'm actually the introvert.
You don't like your family that much?
I mean, when I'm comfortable with the people I love, I don't talk much. If people want to have conversations with me, I'm totally there. But in general, between all my family members, they will go out and they will yap around with everyone. I'll be cordial. I'll talk to people.
Right.
But most of the time, I'm kind of sitting with my thoughts and I'm observing and I'm just thinking about why things are the way that they are. And then even then, I take it the step further of reflecting back and being like, okay, well, why do I see it this way?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very much kind of this, I'm always in my thoughts. But
you're also holding yourself accountable, right? Because
yes, accountability is such a huge, like, if I'm looking at virtues and values, holding myself accountable is one of the most important things for me to do. Between like being a person, it's like it's part of integrity.
Yeah.
If there's anything I hold true to myself, and if I am to describe myself or hope that I could describe myself in any way, it's being a person of integrity. Where if I cannot hold myself accountable and to understand where my impact is in my communities, in my surroundings, in my society, if I cannot understand my impact and I cannot honestly uphold something, then I shouldn't be doing it. But I cannot do that just off of face value thinking.
Exactly.
I can't just take it off my doubts. Exactly. I have to understand why I'm doubting it.
Exactly. Because like even when you're thinking, as you mentioned before, like why do I feel this way, or why do I think this way about certain things, that in itself is holding yourself accountable from any kind of prejudices or any kind of just things, you know, just like irrational thoughts, basically.
Yeah. No, it's such a piece of work. It genuinely is. Oh my God, the brain pumping iron up in there. Strong mind fortresses. Yeah. But you know, we were talking about, say, journaling earlier on, and when it comes down, like, we're looking at some of these tools for introspection, and there's so many ways to do it, and there's so many reasons to be introspective, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't necessarily need or feel like they don't need to be introspective. I feel like everyone should look inwards at some point in your life. Like, you know how some people have midlife crisis. And they're like, this isn't what I wanted to do, but I did this and I did that, and I thought this is all I
they weren't looking earlier.
Exactly. You weren't seeking within, but then also not realizing that can change.
Yeah.
Right?
What you want could always change.
Exactly. Because as we mentioned, like, the self is ever evolving. What you want now may not be what you want in the future, but it is in that process of finding forgiveness of, if I did this action, can I carry it forward?
Exactly.
Like, I know for myself, I'm not saying I'm a saint. That is the furthest thing I am. But I'm not going to say I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
But in whatever action I choose to take in my life, it's not something that is thoughtless, even if it seems crazy. If it seems crazy, I have thought about the consequences, and if I'm brave enough to face them, even if they are ugly.
As you said, like, carrying it forward.
Exactly.
Are you able to carry this choice forward? That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, once again, it's those lessons, right?
Right.
In some of the ugliest things that I've experienced in my life, if I did not find myself strong enough to face it, I have to acknowledge that as part of myself.
Yes.
You know, like, not to get religious about it, but like, me and my mom, we were talking about this recently, but I asked her I said, if you knew if there was a heaven or a hell, if the concept of like monotheistic religions actually existed, would you be okay with wherever God places you, in a way? Like, would you be accepting of it?
Oh, whether heaven or hell.
Yes. Would you truly be? Because, like, I know for myself, maybe it's because of deep exploration, and maybe it's from deep forgiveness. Like, I don't believe that God-fearing people are actually good followers.
No.
Personally, that's something and it might be a little controversial. I don't think God-fearing people are good followers, because why do you have to follow something out of fear of getting a bad consequence? Exactly. If you love God so much,
you would do it out of love.
Not only that, if you love God so much, you would trust that he put you in the right place based on your actions. You are not doing things to seek his validation, but you are accepting of his choice because you love him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's why I don't believe in God-fearing people, because why would I be scared of God, who I could put my trust into?
Exactly, because if God made you this way.
Yeah, but not even if he makes me this way. It's, I can do all the right things tomorrow, but if I'm doing it with the intention of wanting validation from God, then I'm not doing it for the right intention. God would want me to do the right things because God knows I need to do the right thing. And in consequence, if he's accepting and he approves of it, then yeah, if I end up in heaven, great. But I could do the right thing and still do it with the intention of doing the right thing, but maybe some of my sins have not matched all the goodness I've done.
Yeah.
Am I going to be mad if he put me in the wrong place?
Right.
Or in the right place, I should say.
Or like wherever he dictates.
Exactly. I'd have to, if I love him, I have to accept it. That's how I see it. And maybe it's a little bit of a...
This is why you're agnostic.
And that's why I'm agnostic. Yeah. Because it is, like, I always, I love looking at Dante's Divine Comedy.
Yeah.
And every time I think of it, I'm like, I know I'm not going to heaven. I know I'm not going to heaven. I've done some cruel things, and even if I try to do good, I know where I've done. And even if I find forgiveness in myself and like, okay, past I've learned, I can learn my lesson and still end up there, but I cannot be mad at it.
I see.
That's something myself. Yeah. And maybe this is my entitlement, and this is where I can acknowledge it, but in that my self-work that I've done in my life, and I'm going to forever do, I will always come to this conclusion of, I can do whatever I can. My results may not be what I need it to be, but I have to understand that I did it as myself and not in validation of others.
Right. So you have to stay true to yourself in that sense.
Exactly. It's a little bit of a weird, entitled way of thinking. I know, but it's also just like, that's how I see it. Because a lot of people, when they look at themselves, they look with religious lenses, right?
Right.
There's very spiritual connection and something that you can't see in your third person. You can't really understand yourself through a mirror.
Right.
You know?
Right. So I see what you mean. That's cool. Yeah. If anything, I feel like if you are doing it such in that, isn't that, I feel like once again, going back to the word accountability, it makes you more accountable and more proactive.
200%.
Yeah.
200%. Because like, I'm gonna break a little bit. I'm gonna actually share this with you guys at some point, but when we were talking about journaling, one interesting way I do my form of introspection, I've been doing this since I was 8, is that I write myself out like a character and on a character sheet, as I was mentioning to you.
Yeah.
And basically, I will go through my physical appearance about what I am in this day and age or whatever year. And I'll write what I'm doing, my personality, what my arc is, what my missions are, my flaws and my pros in a way.
Yeah.
And I'll go through all of these things super, 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 super in depth. And I'll draw myself out and how I see myself. And then I will create a parallel in that same kind of character sheet format about who I want to be. And if I'm able to find the steps of how I can get there, I can understand not only myself now, but I can build the steps of who I can be in the future.
I need this for my class. I'll be very. That's like amazing.
I'll definitely send you. I'll send it to you. But I do this for a lot of things because even when I'm the type of person because to understand the self, you also have to understand there's other people around you.
Yes.
But not everyone in your external is going to be always like impactful in your internal.
Yeah.
Like for myself, I see myself, I understand myself, and I understand the position I'm in. But in my life and how I see it, I kind of see like a king's table, like a king's dining table.
Oh, of your different selves.
No, not even. In my lifetime. Because with the self, you'll also understand there's different people who have a self.
Oh, I
right?
see. Yeah.
Which is a weird wordy way to say it. There's different people who will run along your lifetime.
Yeah.
And you'll understand, like, run in your lifetime, and you'll understand them, and they'll understand you. And like kind of that same thing of you are not going to be recognized by everyone truly. Right? And for me, I see like a king's dining table, and everyone has a seat. But those seats are not always taken until someone solidifies themselves and like kind of the person that I've been waiting for to sit at my table shows up and sits at my table.
Right.
It's almost like, myself is almost recognized with them. And I'm like, this is a person that I'm carrying throughout my whole lifetime.
Oh, I see.
So, but I have to understand who I am at the head of my table to welcome those people.
Exactly. Because once again, if you don't know yourself, maybe it's a misalignment.
Exactly. And that comes with virtues and values, ambitions, the life that you want to tread. But like for me, I've always seen my seats at my table, and I've seen who's open. I've seen people try to sit in that seat and it's not the right fit. And it sometimes saddens me because I'm like, that person's not here yet. I've been waiting for, because I don't want to say it like this. It's almost like the people who sit at this table who have found their seat and we're waiting on other people, they're starving. They're like, we're not eating until everybody's here.
But mom.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I kind of see it, because if I start losing myself, I also know I have to leave my seat.
Oh, I see.
That's how I envision myself.
Wow.
It's a very weird relationship with myself.
It's like accountability. One word for you, accountability. Holy shit.
I try my best. I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it, but it's definitely one of those things of, if you cannot like my brother when we were younger.
Yeah.
I think he was like 8 years old. Because I used to say, I understand what this person's saying. I know what this person is saying. And my brother's like, I know you don't know half the things that people are saying. Why do you keep saying yes? And I was like, oh. And then my brother said, he's like, he didn't even say, like, give me a big lecture. All he said, he was like, stop being a fucking hypocrite. And I was
he
like,
was 8?
She was 8.
He was 8.
He was 8. And he's like, don't be a hypocrite. Stop being a fucking hypocrite. And I stopped. He's like, if you can't do it, don't say you can do it. And don't act like anybody else. Just do your thing. If you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know it.
Respect.
Yeah, shout out to Jasmine and Elahee. But it is one of those things of me having to understand, why am I do I keep saying yes to things? And to realize, oh yeah, it is okay for me to say I don't know.
Yeah. Because that is, once again, yourself.
It is.
You can build towards it, but at this current moment, if you don't know, that's okay.
It's forgiveness. It's a cycle of forgiveness in a way, right? Because even like, I'm going to ask you a very hard question.
Okay.
In this version of yourself, would you say that you're happy with this version of yourself? And do you think the past versions of yourself would be proud of who you are today?
I think, big question. I think in general, I am happy with who I am right now. And my past selves would be very happy. Although obviously there's still like for my current self looking at me right now,
Yeah.
there are areas which I'm like, okay, I definitely made bad choices in certain aspects. And it kind of just goes back to your question, or like the phrase you said, it's sticking with me. Like, if you make this choice, can you carry this consequence or like this choice
Yeah.
if going forward?
Yeah.
Right. So I think I'm in that stage where I'm still finding out if I'm able to carry it forward.
Yeah.
Because I'm still kind of young, I'm like figuring things out.
Of
So although I am happy mostly for where I am, I'm also kind of like uncertain or almost like scared to see, or because I am uncertain about what's to come.
Of course.
Right.
I mean, with who you hope to be in the future,
Mhm.
with all of your uncertainties that you have today.
Yeah.
Because if you are, once again, I do see you as a person who is very in tune with yourself regardless.
Yeah.
Do you think the version of yourself tomorrow will be, or like the one that you hope to achieve or accomplish at some
Right.
point, do you think she will look at you with forgiveness, even in your uncertainty?
I think so, because I do think I wish to become a really forgiving person
Yeah.
to the right crowd, obviously. But
Of course.
so I think no matter how screw up I become, I do hope my future self, my ideal self, essentially,
Yeah.
would be the type to be able to forgive. So it's not necessarily that the current me will be mellow or
Yeah.
will not take risk or
Of course.
so I feel like the current me will still be able to fuck up, but I'm pending on and hoping for and working towards that future self which will be able to forgive all that I am right now as I forgive my past self.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, okay, I know that we had a couple things that we wanted to touch and we're almost there. We were talking about journaling and guiding questions. What questions do you actually believe are the real questions for people to understand themselves or to explore themselves?
Wow. I think if you were to just really get started, just ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Right. Like observe your surroundings, observe where you are and your current relationships to both the other people as well as the environment, as well as whatever things you are engaged in. Could be a job, could be school, whatever it is. Ask yourself, how are you feeling towards it? And then starting from there, right? As you develop, you can ask more questions about what is leading towards this feeling, and then going forward even more is kind of going to where you said with your character sheets, in which let's try charting out our current self, where I am right now, what do I do, what do I like, dislike, and then adding a bit more questioning about why do I think sorry,
It's okay.
how to put this, why do I think I feel this way, or what do I think influences my perspective of my current self,
Your current state.
It's like, if I like this thing, why do I like this, right?
Yeah.
Is it because of my background, my experience, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I really, once again, love your idea about trying out your current idealized self, and then not just that, but like making the pathways or making connections about how am I already there, how can I achieve it, and then what things I can improve on. That's amazing to me.
I mean, I can show you. There's one time where I think I was getting into high school.
Yeah.
And there's a specific part of it that literally says, I want to be quiet and mysterious and blah, 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 blah. And I went back to it a week afterwards and it was like, Jasmine, you fucking say too much. Why are you forcing yourself to be mysterious when you were too open?
Exactly.
That's not you.
Yeah.
And I just learned, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm so, like, I like being open. I hate being a mystery. I hate being nonchalant. But no, I think that's a really, like, those are some really good questions to ask. And I really appreciate that you look at it from I'm going to say like an emotional aspect, like relating to the emotions that it brings out of you and into why you're reacting to things, because it's like chemistry, right?
Yeah.
If you can't understand the reaction to why something's happening, then you can't understand the roots to your cause.
Exactly. Or like even like the risk to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Once again, I feel like our backgrounds also influence our decisions and our perspectives a lot.
Very much so.
Right.
Like, you know, when we were trying to find those words, the roots to who you are is so vastly important. As a person with a history background, I don't think I could understand who I am without understanding where I'm from or who I come from and the journeys before me. And that's like kind of corny to say, because that takes a whole lot of people to make me who I am at my foundation.
Yeah.
But it comes with traditions. It comes with mindsets that are being taught. It comes with pains and worries. Absolutely, all of it that were established in other people's expectations of who you are, right?
Yes.
Because like when you think about, say, how does culture and roots contribute to who you are today?
Right. I think, oh my gosh, it's such a vast topic though. Because once again, it's like culture is both what you subconsciously take in through your environments, through your foundational grow up.
Absolutely.
As well as just like once you reach the age where you're able to reflect and take and choose for yourself what kind of person you want to be, those conscious choices you make about what you hold on to and what you let go of and why you choose to do so.
Absolutely.
Right? So for example, my artistic practices is very much rooted into my Chinese culture. I do think, although I do have like appreciation of it growing up, it's still like very much a conscious effort to make it or like develop more into it and have it take up even more presence into my identity, right?
Yeah.
So then it's just like making that choice about why do I want more or less of my certain cultures or background into my current self, why or why not, right?
Yeah.
Because like once, I don't know if people like from similar situations like me in which you're like an immigrant or you're like first or second generation and your parents or your family wasn't originally from Canada and they bring with them like cultural expectations, traditions, as well as mindsets. Like certain people, like there comes to a point in your life in which you realize maybe you're not fully aligned like your parents are, but at the same time you're not aligned fully like your peers who are not a part of that culture.
True.
So then just like, and then a lot of times you can't actually really decide which parts you are interested in or which parts you want to keep.
Yeah.
Right. It's such an awesome, cool and heartbreaking thing that happens to us.
Oh, it's an interesting one. I mean, like, because you were born in...
I was born in China, but then I moved it here when I was just 5 years old, and I've been here since recently.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Because with that, well, being 5 years old, like maybe you weren't feeling any of the pressures and anything that would be implemented later on into your teens. But do you think there are parts of you that you can recognize are like I don't know, how do I say this? The version of yourself now is walking a line between the Canadian and the Chinese parts of you, right?
Yeah.
Can you figure out, I guess, which part is your Canadian influences, what parts your Chinese influence, and what is just uniquely to you?
That's the thing that it's so difficult to figure out, especially if you were able to like go through like both cultures that are part of you. You're able to, for example, for me, go to China as well as being Canada, and then you just realize the parts where I thought was distinctly me was actually just that culture, right? Yeah. Or like influenced by the culture, and I'm not unique in that sense. It's just the cultural upbringing. I do think it's kind of unique because I have a lot of Chinese friends who are in mainland China or just like the sphere. And then when I talk to them about my endeavors, like with Tai Chi, with martial arts, with like my certain parts of my philosophy, they're just like, sometimes they will look at me and be like, I know I'm the one with the citizenship from the mainland, but like, you're kind of more Chinese than me. And I'm just like, okay.
It's like a conscious effort too, though.
I do think, yes, definitely is a conscious effort to pursue them, but sometimes I wonder my interest in aspects of a culture, I don't know if it was a conscious effort, right? Because sometimes I feel like I'm just interested in, for example, stone steel carving, because I'm just really interested in stamps and carving, right? So then it just so happens that my culture has this thing called stone steel carving, which I'm carving. So I'm able to engage with it and just aligns with who I am.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it's not, I don't know. And sometimes I wonder if I'll ever know.
I mean, I feel like at some point everyone kind of finds out. Like, I know on my end, I'm a first generation Russian Canadian. And so my parents, they came here around 40-ish years ago. And I was like one of the first few kids born in Calgary within the Mauritian community here. So when I was younger, I was raised speaking Creole. And then they realized, oh my God, she's speaking Creole to everybody in the English speaking province. We need to teach her English. So funnily enough, I didn't realize that, like, when I was taking English in schools, like, I didn't realize how these things were impacting me, because at a point I just thought, like, oh, I'm Canadian. I was born here. Blah, blah, blah. And but I knew I was Mauritian, and I knew there was a lot of differences I was going to face with other people who saw me as just like, oh, you're just Indian or whatever else.
Right.
And I remember there was a part where I didn't realize, say, in English classes, I didn't understand when they were talking about grammar. Like they would be talking about these concepts and these tools and rules and grammar.
Yeah, same.
And I was like, what the fuck are you guys on about?
Exactly. I'm like, what is this alchemy?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, oh, this is
like past tense, or if there's the E at the end, this A makes a different sound.
Yeah, it was that, or like, I don't know. I don't remember what I always get this one note. It's always about like how I ended my sentences. And I was like, I don't know what you mean. Tell me what you mean. I was begging, and I was like, if you're not going to teach me the actual reason for this grammar, I won't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's just always, oh, that's a conscious aspect of it.
Exactly. So I was never understanding of it because grammatically, when I was my first language was Creole.
Yeah.
And that's a pidgin language.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Oh.
It's like slang French. So like you'll hear French people speaking and they're like, and like in Creole it's like moi appelle Jasmine, or like if you're saying like hi, it's like it's same thing of bonjour.
Yeah.
Like bonjour que manière, that's how you kind of say it. But it's slang. It's slang. And so I didn't realize that was something in my subconscious until I got into university, when they started breaking down what these grammatical things meant. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I just I just don't know what this is.
Yeah, because that was not my first language. And then just like learning a new language is a conscious choice, or a conscious effort.
Exactly. And having to understand the syntax of everything. Like I was very thankful that I grew up wanting to be a linguist.
Yeah.
In many ways. So learning other languages helped me figure out how these sentences and all these grammatical structures were working, but it had to be a conscious choice. But then also, say with learning about roots, being a first generation Mauritian Canadian is very different for me.
Yeah.
Because one thing I realized in my experience is that, kind of similarly to you, although I wasn't born in Mauritius, I felt very attached to my roots, especially as I got out of high school. Because I remember one time my uncle, he asked me, he's like, he sat me and my brother down and he said, do you guys experience racism?
Yeah.
And I said, why would I experience racism? I was born in Calgary.
Oh, wow.
And then I left high school and I was getting racially profiled for so much stuff. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And then I realized people don't see me as that, even if I am from here. And so I started having to learn more about myself to recognize because I had to understand the safety.
Yeah.
I had to create a safe space for myself and understand why people were reacting to me, because I don't want to say I was trying to avoid a victim mindset by understanding my positionality.
Right.
And that was one thing I had to really discover, because you have to be in a safe space to discover yourself further in that.
I agree. Yeah.
Right? And so when I was learning more, and even when I got into history, I was trying to seek more information on what being Mauritian meant. And I started that by looking at my parents' lineage. I understand not only how people were perceiving me, but like understanding where my parents came from and where maybe their pressures were as
what
people.
They carry with them.
Exactly. And maybe even with, I don't want to say their traumas, but how that carried on and how they were parenting me.
Exactly.
And how they showed up for me.
Yeah.
I kind of had to learn about their stories for me to understand why my story is the way that it is. Because a lot of things is cause and effect, right?
Exactly.
And so by the time I was going through all my stuff, like when I was younger, I wanted to be a singer. But the reason I wanted to be a singer was not just because I enjoyed singing and dancing and all of it. It was because I wanted to create a stage for other Mauritians abroad.
Oh.
For them to say, because when you're from Mauritian, all your celebrities in a way are all politicians.
Oh.
And you're like, oh my God, this is so lame. And especially as a chick, you're like, everyone's
this is an old white, sorry, not white, it's just old
brown dudes. And I'm like, I'm the young hot,
young hot girl. I can't relate to you.
Yeah, what you mean?
We can't relate.
Exactly. And I wanted to be able to have people who were not pressured the same way that immigrant parents were, to be like, you're allowed to do something creative. And then when I got into pageants and everything, it was one thing, and I enjoyed it. I got to represent Mauritians and explore that side of me more. And then other Mauritians started seeing like, oh, I do see myself in you. And I thought that was the pressure I needed for me to be true to myself. And then when I went to Mauritius to see the president for that book launch,
Yeah.
I remember the whole time there because I ended up realizing I identify myself more with being Mauritian than I do Canadian because Canadian people do not see me as Canadian. And I don't align with Canadian values all the time.
Yeah, so I feel like you don't really necessarily have like that's a cultural safety net within Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially being in Alberta,
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't want to bring politics into this, but me being a brown woman is not an appreciated person within Alberta.
Yeah.
And it will continuously be this way until someone eradicates this idea of racism.
We're working towards it, guys.
Yeah.
Let's keep on working.
But it was one of those things where I would always tell people I'm Mauritian Canadian. I'm not Indian. I'm not this. We're part of the African Union. And then that's when the Latino communities, they're like, oh, you're just like the Trinidadian. Oh, yeah, we understand you because of colonization.
Right.
We're colonized like by the same cousins. That's what I'm saying. But it's one of those things where when I went back, those guys, they saw me as Canadian straight up. So through and through.
Exactly.
Because I didn't speak Creole anymore. And I was like, oh, this is really rough. And I told them, because a lot of them, they're like, oh, well, why would you say you're Mauritian? I'm like, I didn't say I was Mauritian. I was chosen for this book because I was a first generation. I'm a product of the diaspora.
Exactly.
And having had that conversation over and over again, started dismantling, oh, do I know who I am? Because this is how I've been identifying myself.
Exactly. And this time, like at this point, you're very much kind of alone by yourself. You do not have any grounding to for culturally.
Yeah.
In either like Mauritius or Canada.
Mauritius or Canada. Yeah, it was very interesting because even for myself, even when I was feeling alone in these moments, I started realizing too that the only way that they started realizing, oh, she is Mauritian, I had to dance battle a vice president.
What kind of like what kind of subplot is a dance battle of vice president?
So stuff up, but no, it's true because at a point I was kind of getting picked on by some of the people from this book. They're like, oh, do you want to sing a Creole song to sing us? But you can't speak Creole. And I was like, this is so random. And then there's this lovely woman, shout out Stella. She's this beautiful Mauritian woman from Australia. And she does a lot of volunteering. She does a lot on raising awareness for cancer patients and all of it. Lovely, lovely soul. And she ended up pulling me aside. She said, do you want to go up and dance Sega with me? And Sega's like the traditional dance. And I said, you know what? Yeah. So there's a live band. And like, this is like the equivalent of like the White House in a way.
Yeah.
Parliament. So me and her are dancing. And someone goes, oh yeah, she's Mauritian.
They saw the way you moved and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, they're like, that's where it was. And even for me, I was trying to get everybody to dance. So everyone came up and started dancing. And the next day, we had this keynotes conversation that we were all doing. And the vice president, because he was also dance battling the Sega, and he comes up to me and he goes, we need to work on getting your citizenship, huh? Like, now we have proof you're Mauritian.
Oh my.
And I was like, I guess this is how I get my passport.
Because you want to dance battle?
Yeah, pretty much. And even a lot of those Mauritians who were bored there, they're like, okay, from you doing research on the history, we understand that you're Mauritian. On you actually being able to, you know the dance, you understand the food, you like all of these things. But it's like I was raised with a lot of cultural aspects. Although my parents, they are Canadians now. Like for 40 years being Canadians. But they didn't raise me in a stereotypical Canadian way. I wasn't eating bacon all the time.
Exactly. You're not saying yeehaw.
Yeah, exactly. God, no. I mean, although my mom does like cowboy.
Same with my dad for some reason.
It's like, okay, we get it. But no, it's understanding my roots there. I started realizing why it was so important for me. Because also, when you look at, like for me and how I look at it, is if you cannot understand the beginnings of your stories, your genetics and everything, some people may grow up being an imposter to themselves. Right. Like I know, not throwing my brother under the bus, but me, like our family has this joke with my brother that this is so dark, I'm so sorry, that he's a white boy that was thrown into the oven for too long. Because my brother was like such a white boy, a little brown, like, and my mother's dark. Yeah, like I don't know if you see him right there.
Yeah, I've danced your brother too.
Yeah, you have.
So I'm like, okay.
And so there's this running joke that my brother was just a white boy who was left in the oven for too long. And it took a while, because I remember there was one incident where he was coming back from WrestleMania in New York, and him and his friend is white, they were running in JFK. And my brother, at WrestleMania, he was carrying a Money in the Bank briefcase and a backpack, unshaven, running through. My brother's name is Jasmine Elahee. His middle name is very terrorist. Running through an airport with a briefcase.
Oh.
He gets tackled by security
Oh.
at TSA. He gets held and he's almost running late for his flight to go to Toronto. Why? Because my brother cannot recognize that, especially in this day and age, him as a brown person running through an airport like that with a briefcase, although all it held was a title belt, is seen as a threat in society.
Oh, man. And this is what we had to work on, guys. Stop being racist.
But to be fair, safety first at the same time. Let's not be ridiculous, but me and him, we had to have a conversation. And I said, I don't want to be that person, but you see yourself. You know yourself. You know you've been stopped through security for random body checks because of your name.
He actually thought it was random.
He didn't understand why he got tackled. His friend didn't get tackled. He got tackled.
So at that moment, he didn't realize it was because they were racist.
He is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it is in our experience that we have to kind of go through these things. And it's not that, it makes us who we are, but in those areas of where we find safety in ourselves, we have to protect ourselves. You have to understand who you are
in this world.
And it shouldn't limit you, but there are things that you need to be aware of to make sure that you are capable to
defend yourself and carry out safely.
Exactly.
And if anything, if you actually did want to make societal change, you also have to recognize, these are the factors limiting you. And these are factors that you need to, essentially combat against, right?
Exactly. And I don't want to put it this way, but the moment my brother started hanging out with more people of color, he then started realizing, this is why people don't see me.
Oh.
These people actually understand that, these are things that they go through, and he started feeling a little bit more seen. He didn't feel like he was in play with somebody else.
Right, or only certain side, or certain Canadian white side is
Exactly. And for him to learn more about himself, about where he is. My brother, although we are mixed background, my brother has been called the N-word so many more times than I ever have.
Wow.
And it's just based off of
external.
Yes. But in how you recognize yourself and how you learn about yourself, it reflects in the external world. If you aren't aware of what's happening, people will project whatever they want to you.
That is true. And then, exactly. Either if you take it or if you want to go against it, you first have to know what it is.
Exactly. And that's why I think learning about who you are at your fundamental genetics is very important, because even when we look at consequences, right? I don't want to say consequences are the biggest factor to having a relationship with yourself, but it kind of is. Because if there weren't any consequences, we would just do things willy-nilly. We could be anything and everything, but there's consequences that do put us in a box where we have to find out what our true self is and to protect it. Right? It's either you protect it or you sacrifice it.
So in relations, for sure.
Yeah. Because you and yourself, you can have your relationship and you could be yourself throughout the rest of your life, but at some point you're going to have to interact with the world.
And then just how the world interacts with you is another factor that might influence how you view or how you wish to carry yourself going forward.
Exactly. Because I know you were mentioning how there was the Blackfoot way of knowing. Right? That I think you were saying that you look more at this understanding of knowing the self, right?
Knowing the self first before you're able to kind of externalize and then build upon cultural identity and continuity. I believe that's what the framework is. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But then that's the thing, though. I do think you need to be pretty secure in yourself before you're able to once again engage with the external world in a way that is both authentic, true, and safe for you. Right? So everything that goes into being you, both if, for example, if we were talking about culture or the external influences of that, you have to know what you agree with and what you want to represent in itself. So almost self-actualize, right?
Absolutely.
Before you can actually engage and perpetuate a culture. Because once again, where do we draw the line between what is culture versus what is personal? I do think there is gray areas, but then in some ways there could be a distinction.
Because Okay, when you look at yourself and you look at, like, maybe if this was in practice for you, where do you see the difference between yourself and
In culture,
in
right?
culture?
I feel like the self would be the choices you make, or like the choice, and the culture is for me, culture is what is presented to you. The self is what views this culture and then decides, or in some parts decide, if you want to take it in with you or not take it in with you. So I do think it is definitely an interplay of it,
Absolutely.
in which you are influenced by culture, you are also culture,
Absolutely.
and you are the continuity of a culture or multiple cultures.
Absolutely.
But then you as a self have this active role in integrating either culture or identity within yourself, and then having it continuously influence your choices and your ways of being, and it becomes like a cycle, right?
Yeah, no, that's I do see where you're coming from. Because, like, here's another question. With that being said, is there an aspect of your cultures that exists, that you know actively exists within you, that you align with? And then is there something that, once again, I'm going to say is uniquely you, that you know, like, it doesn't align with a culture, it doesn't align with, it's just you've learned this in your own lifetime.
Right. That's such a good question, and there's so much you could say about it. I feel like it's still very much in the works for me.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one thing I know, like, is something that's of my culture, and then, like, I've decided to engage in might just be, for example, like, the traditional clothing that you would see me wear.
Yeah.
Right? I love to engage in it, but once again, I didn't necessarily grow up wearing it as a norm. It had to be a conscious effort, a conscious choice.
Yeah.
And then you would also receive backlash for it in Alberta.
Yeah.
Because people see you walking around and then they want to call you a slur sometimes. Unfortunately.
Do better,
guys, please. I look pretty, okay?
She does. Oh my goodness. Like,
Thanks.
mamas.
Yeah. But then also it's like, so like that's me making a conscious effort to integrate that into my identity, right?
Yeah.
But I do think I didn't do it just because it's my culture. It's also because I feel like the aesthetic does resonate with me on a more internal and personal level.
Yeah.
Because, like, once again, I wouldn't wear it just because it was my culture. I wear it because I do feel like it represents and resonates with me.
Absolutely.
And I like
it
how
adds to you.
it adds to me, but as well, it reflects my internal self as well. Right?
Yeah.
This could also tie into gender and all that thing.
No.
Cool stuff too, right?
Yeah.
But then I feel like something that is distinctly me, it definitely takes a lot more thought, right? I don't know if anybody, at least I don't think I can name anything right now, mostly because I just haven't sat down and like kind of just list things out and work things out personally. But it's a really good thought experiment, I think.
Honestly.
I'm going to turn the question on to you then. To you?
Yeah. Honestly, I love your answer. I do love that aspect. And I've already appreciated how you dress.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that so much more, that you see it as yourself, like, internally. I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think something that is unique to me and, like, separate to, like, what is cultural to me is hospitality.
Oh.
Being, like, my parents, and, like, if you meet Mauritians, we're very hospitable people. Like, if you see the layout today.
Well, it's empty now, but there was a lot of food. There was a lot of food.
The reason why is because you do not welcome people in the house without making sure that they're fed. Like, you are treating them as a warm and welcome and special guest, and as family. That's one thing culturally. I don't think I can shake that out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to represent that, because that joy of, like, community and of, you're in my space and I'm going to make sure you have a luxurious time here. It's not me showing off. It's no, I want you to feel as comfortable as you can. That's something cultural that I know I cannot shake off, and I know where it comes from.
Right.
And I've learned to appreciate it deeply. But what is unique to me and what is true to me between Canadian and Mauritian and who I am today, it's my values and virtues. No one can shake that out of me. I've had to learn about, like, I will say, being virtuous. Maybe it's because of my education.
Right.
And that was, like, nailed down into me. But I am a person who really does value virtue. If you live your life virtuously, like, I can't live my life knowing that I'm doing things unconsciously. Like, I make mistakes.
Right.
But if I'm doing things that are disrespectful, I can't do it. Not because, that was like, you have to treat others the way that you want to be treated.
Right. No.
It's one of those things of, even when I was younger,
Mhm.
before I even entered that system, maybe it was how I was raised, but I was never a person to do things or to hurt people just because
Mhm.
I had grit in what I valued. And also, it's that and also my standards.
Right.
What's very unique to me is that I have very heavy standards, not just for myself, but for others and for those who are around me.
Mhm.
And it's not like, oh, I need to put on a face or anything. It's if someone starts acting funny, I'm going to stand up for what's right.
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure that I hold myself accountable in those situations, but that's unique to me where I will run my train fueled on virtue and value more than anything. It's not going to be money. It's not going to be acceptance from other people. It's if this is what's right for me, I'm going to do it. And if this aligns with the versions of me that want to exist, I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to do something just because someone told me to.
Right. So that once again, like that non-conformity.
It's not, that's once again, through and through, that is unique to me. Because in Mauritian culture, they would actually want me to be a little bit more, timid, to be accepting,
And
to
like accommodating.
absolutely. And like I'll be, warm to my elders and all of it, but at the same time, if someone crosses me in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
I'm not going to act out. But if something someone is putting unrealistic pressure on me, I'm not going to listen to it. The only time I'll listen is if you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
And same thing with Canadians, right? They want me to be conservative in many ways, or they want me to get rid of who I see myself as. That's one thing I think Canadian culture, like as much as a melting pot it can be, if you lose yourself to what Canadian culture is,
you lose yourself.
you lose yourself. And a lot of about being Canadian now is rooted in material.
It is.
And I'm not that type of person, but like I remember when I was at work, I hate to say it, say with work culture, I'm not the most talkative person at work. If I'm going to work, I'm going to work because I'm there at work.
Yeah.
I'm not going, unless like me and you were sitting there having conversations, you are not going to see me talk with all the other people who are actively working and pull them aside for a conversation
Right.
just because I want to talk.
Do people do that?
People do that. Yeah, and like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're really timid. I'm like, no, I just know that you're working, and out of respect to you, and also the fact that I have to go back downstairs and
do your own work, yeah.
I have to do it. And a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you're really quiet. And I was like, because I'm focused.
Huh.
And some people would ask me like, oh, well, why don't you show up for these things? And it's like, I have a life outside of work.
Yeah.
And work culture is not my whole existence. And that's that's a huge Western thing where work culture
They really want to integrate into every aspect of your life.
It's your definition.
Yeah.
Your job title is your definition. And I cannot do it. I can't conform to it because I have hobbies. I have interests. Like even when I'm in communities, right? I hate when people start gossiping. And if people try to, I literally go, do you not have a hobby? Did you not hang out with your friends? Are you not looking at the news? You want to talk about literally tell me about a book you're reading or a game you're playing. Please. Like, I can't conform to kind of the surface level of Western society.
Right.
But I can't conform to the hard aspects of Mauritian society.
Right.
Of immigrant children.
That is
I can't do it. So that's on me there. But
it happens. It'd be like that. Immigrant kids be like that.
I mean, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
And to wrap things up soon. Because if you were to explain yourself today and the self that you want to actualize, who are they? Who is Angela now and who's Angela in the future?
Oh my Lord. Big question.
I know. But there's no right answer.
There's no answer. Yeah, there's definitely no right answer. I feel like maybe I can start with like maybe the self I want to be. I think for me, I hope in the future I'm able to be more firm either on my choices or just be more certain in the choices that I make. But also just be a bit more critical when I'm making choices. Once again, I feel I give myself the grace that I'm growing, but I do hope going forward I'm able to just really sit down and think, okay, if I make this choice, or if I go through with this action, am I able to continue with it? Even like, regardless if it's, because once again, it's hard to determine if this action will be good, only good, or like the best one going forward. Because once again, life gets complicated. Sometimes all choices are bad, or just is a mix of everything, right? So then just like sticking with a choice. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm like, no, actually, I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-ask you this question because I feel like, okay, I'm not a therapist. I feel I'm catching you doing something here, and I'm like, okay, as much as I do appreciate your answer,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm looking for you.
Oh, okay.
When you see a future you,
Yeah.
not from what you need to work on or anything.
Oh.
Who is Angela that you see yourself, like, see in existence? The Angela that you want to have exist, not the ones that you need to work on. What is the Angela that exists that you hope to merge into? Not the things you have to work on. Who is she?
Jesus Christ. Oh.
Everyone has one.
I guess it's quite, it's so hard, like, because once you like try to reframe it away from what you need to improve and just what it is. Never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Just like what it is, and not just how to get there.
No. I love that you have the steps, but what is that version of you that you see that's like, she exists somehow, some way. There's going to be work to get there. It's not even like, oh, but you just feel her.
You just feel her feeling out the outlines.
Yeah. Who is she?
Self-assured.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she is powerful. I think powerful. I want her to be. That sounds weird.
No. Yes. You want it to be.
Perhaps want. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a want. It's also, it's just, she is.
She is, right?
She is.
So she is, and I also want her to be
Yeah.
powerful in that she is capable and can do the good that she wants to do to this world. And she has the confidence to do so, even if her circle or the people around her can't help her that much with it. She's still able to go through with it, even without external motivation or external support. So just being that strong pillar. Yeah.
Okay, and now,
Wow.
who are you? And do you not see?
I wonder. I think I definitely see aspects of my ideal self and who I am right now. I just think it's more about to the extent, the degree and extent, exactly, right? I do think I am confident and I do good to this world, but it's not to the extent that as much as I envision it to be.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think I'm still cool. I think I'm getting more strong.
I see them guns.
Yeah. Wow.
We're gonna get banned. The U.S. is gonna see it. They're gonna.
Oh no, my guns.
They're gonna cross our borders for our arms.
You have the right to bear us. Oh man. Yeah.
But no, you can see.
Yeah, so yeah, I am quite powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You see the stance off of it? Just kiss, dog.
Insane. There's like scrawny ass chopsticks, but that's
No.
we're working on it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see it, and I do think I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a fun person. I'm quite.
You
a fun
absolutely are.
Right.
200%.
Thank you. So I do think, yeah, I know who I am right now. It's just I think my ideal self will have higher degrees of what I am.
And in those steps that you were looking at, is that a form of introspection for you, like where you've recognized it, or is that a place where you're just like, are you being hard on yourself?
I think it's more of an introspection. I think the way maybe I verbalize it might seem quite hard.
No, but it's sometimes like you are very direct with yourself, right?
Yeah. But like I feel like emotionally and internally it's not that harsh. It's just I think it came off a bit. It's very honest. It came out a bit blunt and a bit like pointed, but it's not meant to be that way.
No, honestly, I love that because like I know for myself when I talk to myself, I'm very cruel to myself.
Yeah,
but it's just like in language. Like I know I'm a direct person. You can be a very direct person too, right? So I think it's just like it's just language. It's just language.
It's only language because I still love myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deeply.
Those things didn't make you any less.
Exactly.
I think it's really interesting. And honestly speaking, I know you're gonna get to exactly who you need to be and who you want to be. I don't think it's an impossible feat. And I like even when you're describing her, I was like, You basically are.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No. But like, once again, when you said to the degrees, I'm like, okay, if that's how you already are now,
Yeah.
I wonder who that version of you that you're seeing is. Because I know when I see myself, whenever I see that future version of myself, I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if I'll ever be able to achieve it. Yeah. But then I've seen in the past, like, maybe she's not exactly who I envision her to be. But at some point, I'm like, oh, no, wait, I definitely did see myself at an earlier version.
Right.
Being that it's almost like it skips every 2-3 versions of myself.
I see. And it comes, it's like a cycle.
Yeah, exactly. And then I kind of realized, oh, wait, no, that version of myself that existed at this time, I wanted to do that when I was 5 or something. And it's this weird thing, but the version of myself that I see, like, I've accomplished so many weird things.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
So much cool
professional side quest. I mean, it's a life that I feel like is well lived.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the version of myself that I hope exists in the future, it actually comes from a nightmare, and I've been reframing her.
Oh.
Yeah. But I used to have this nightmare where there was this version of me that would wake up in this penthouse apartment with these 2 little rat dogs. Yeah. And then I'd walk over to this window and it was all gray. And I was in these very nice satin gray pajamas. I was watching gray clouds roll in, and I was alone drinking a very bland espresso.
Bland espresso.
I know. But then I realized I'm like, because my biggest fear when I was younger was being alone. And I kind of realize now where it's like, I do realize from all the stuff that I've accomplished, I'm like, I'm actually way closer to her now.
Yeah.
But is that a bad thing?
Exactly.
So I feel like in my bones, the way that I see her is like, okay, no, she's like, to be in a penthouse apartment
with
there
rat
has to be, with some rat dogs. I mean, I hope they're cuter than little rat dogs, but I do see a version of myself that reflects all the hard work that I've done throughout.
Exactly.
Like, there's like that ultimate payoff.
Exactly.
But it's being completely independent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't want to say I'm very far off from what I hope to have been, but I think as I grow older, and I think I'm going to learn and unlearn myself a lot, I think there's a version of myself that I'm learning to accept more than I'm striving for now.
Right.
And I think that version of myself is someone who is having to be, I don't want to say like isolated, but that individual that I kind of have to be.
Right.
I'm learning that the whatever strength that I'm going through, and I kind of learned that I do kind of want to be her.
Yeah.
Because she's at peace. She got money.
She got money.
But also, like, if she is overlooking a world that she can also recognize as great, it means that she has hunger.
Yeah.
I want to forever be a hungry person. Not in a
physical way.
Yeah. But I want to be a person who is forever looking beyond myself and
always
what can
striving
change. Striving for more.
Yeah.
She's not a restful person, but she's not restless. She's just ambitious. And I hope that by that time, I stay an ambitious person who is able to build my empire.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing myself as now. Because once again, I've kind of accomplished my big goal, but I accomplished it too quickly, and it threw me through a loop.
Oh.
And I had to unlearn myself a little bit there. But then when I relearned that, like, okay, well, I have to appreciate that I was able to do it. And even though this is not the right timeline, I can appreciate that I've done it. And I have to just build off her.
That's
not remake her.
Exactly. You don't have to always be stuck in your past glories.
Exactly. And those past glories are going to mean nothing in a few years.
Exactly.
I have to continue learning, and I have to be willing to take my risks. So I see her as brave. And that's one thing I hope, because I am a coward.
Are you?
I'm actually so bright. I have a fear of garbage cans. You know what? Yeah. And I used to be scared of bunnies.
Huh? Okay, never mind. Think about that.
Yeah, I'm a fucking scaredy cat. But honestly,
sorry, why garbage cans?
I was at one of my friends' places, and we were watching a horror film, and there's this body that was found in this garden, disheveled, and
I see from.
And then what made it worse? She's like, "Oh my god, do you guys want to see my turtles? They're in my basement." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go see the snapper turtles." She was from Hong Kong. She loved that. And we went downstairs, basement filled with garbage bags. And I was like, I don't know why. It just And then also, one time, this was like ages and ages and ages ago. In our garbage, I guess it tipped over and a bunch of maggots came out. It's like yeah, and I have like bad germophobia too.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, but in the whole discovering myself, I've learned that my cowardice is also what makes me a great type A friend.
Yeah, because it protects you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like diseases. I'll be the cleanest. You can lick food off my feet. Don't.
Yeah,
but like,
sorry. I'm looking right at your toes. Why you got them covered?
This is not that kind of podcast. But no, honestly, I think this is like a really interesting and helpful way to look at it. I guess one more question I have is, what would your advice be for people who are lost? Because as we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of people out there who don't really know themselves. What do you think is something, or what is any advice that you have for people to learn about themselves?
I'm going to kind of go against what we said just now and actually just say, like, live your life so far, but just be intentionally observant. So I know we said that, like, a lot about ourselves is to kind of make active choices about what do you want to bring into your life and personhood. Yeah. But then also I'm just like, if you're really just starting out and you don't even know what is going on, I think the best way is to just look around you, feel out your own life, see what really works for you, and just be conscious about what brings you like joy, what brings you contentment, what gives you purpose.
Yeah, pay attention.
Pay attention, and like if you can, like reflect on them, right? Like write them down and look back on them saying, oh, at this moment in my life, when I'm going through this kind of stuff, this is what works for me, or whatever, right? Or this is what I hope I can do better.
Absolutely.
So just definitely just if you were to just start today, just be intentional with observing your life and then once you feel like you have enough information from that, then try to make choices based off of what you want to be.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's really good advice, truly. Okay, is there anything else that you would possibly want to say or talk about? Would you like to share with the audience what's coming up for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, as we talked about before, I was able to host 2 stone carving sessions here in Calgary. Are we okay to dox the city name?
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot.
No worries.
I'm actually planning to host another 2 workshops in July. So if you guys are interested, follow my art account. That's where I'll be posting the updates as well as the ticket links. So very excited about that.
We'll insert things within the descriptions and the videos if you're watching it on YouTube around here. But yes,
somewhere
around here. But also, I would like to say a huge thank you. I'm definitely going to try to make it. If so, maybe I can build to me on it.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I do have a little surprise.
You do? Oh my god!
If you would like to look at the globe.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's why you want the globe in the frame?
Well, it looks pretty too.
Oh my god! It's a letter.
We just got a letter.
You don't understand. I love getting letters.
Just a little thing.
It says thank you. It's got
like
a
open, you can
seal.
open it now.
Okay. Thank you.
And do you need a little knife?
I think a knife? Like
just a little like butter knife. So
I think I got it. Yeah. Thank you. Oh my goodness! What is all of this amazing stuff?
They're actually from a Hong Kong artist for himself. They're little mailboxes, but they're handmade.
That's very I don't know how to do that.
I thought you would like these.
Cool. Yeah, I like the red on it. Oh, they're so cool. And she wrote a letter with me. And oh my gosh, your business card. That's so cool.
This is called a fail card. Basically, it's based off of the last episode, but it's basically a framework for whatever you feel like you're at your lowest points. It's just a little something, but it's not. But
that's so sweet. Thank you.
No worries. But no, truly, thank you so much, Angela, for being on this episode. You have been such a pleasure and such a joy. And I know the insights that you have will open up different conversations for other people, because even with this season of Know Thyself, the first place that you need to understand any of these concepts is to understand yourself. And I think from how you look at the world and from your own experiences and actively seeing where these moments exist in your lifetime, it can also show other people that it doesn't have to be in one specific place.
For sure.
And I'm just so thankful for your time. Really.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really, really fun.
I'm so happy to hear.
Well, that's the conversation. 2.5 hours of two friends sitting across from each other, trying to figure out what it means to know yourself. No experts, no frameworks we promise would change your life. Just two people thinking out loud. If I had to pull one thread out of all of this, it would be that self-knowledge has 3 homes. It lives in your body and the practices you build and the things you do with your hands, the way you move through your day-to-day. It lives in your attention and the accountability you hold yourself to and the questions you ask yourself when no one else is watching. And it lives in your relationships, in your heritage, in your community, and the people who reflect you back to yourself, sometimes generously and sometimes brutally. You don't need to do all 3 at once. You don't need to be good at any of them by all means. You just need to start somewhere and pay attention to what happens. And that's the model I want to set for every conversation that I do with a guest this season. It's not necessarily motivational, not prescriptive, just honest. 2 people, 1 camera, real questions, and whatever comes up. Because depth is not reserved for the credentialed. Depth is what happens when you stop performing and start noticing. A big thank you to Angela for being so generous with her time and her thinking. You can find her work and her upcoming stone carving workshops linked in the show notes below. Thank you for tuning in. This is Forever Pondering, and until then, remember to stay relentlessly curious.